to develop. Uh, every member has the opportunity to develop oral communication and leadership skills, which in turn foster self-confidence and personal growth. There are a couple of ground rules that we need to follow. So please put your mobile phones in silent mode. I'm going to give you a couple of seconds to do so. Here's the weird part. Every single day, I'm repeating the same statements, but my phone will never be silent. I have to make it silent, literally. Okay. Avoid topics related to sex, religion, and politics in a derogatory manner. Please mute your microphone while you are not speaking. Make sure that you are in a silent environment while you speak. And please use the private chat facility to convey any messages, which I'm sure will become pretty much PhD holders in that. So it's time to invite our presiding officer for the day. Now, there's something very interesting about this magical soul. There's this group that we have, it's called Worldwide Toastmasters. So we were looking for a language evaluator in one of our meetings. And she reached out, and needless to say, she managed to win the best role player award as well. But the relationship that built with this magical soul after that meeting is something absolutely stupendous. She's my guide, she's my mentor, she's our guide for this particular speech craft program, and she is a soul who, according to me, is like Aladdin's genie, only that she's a personification of genie, and I did not rub any lamp. Every single time we have any kind of problem, we know we have this one stop solution to all our problems. That's why I personally like to continue irritating her. So far, she's not got irritated, which is a good news. Let's put our hands together for our presiding officer of the day, distinguished Toastmaster Gayatri, ma'am. Let's give it up for Gayatri, ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Hi, I'm sure you can hear me.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I thought I'll try something different rather than saying, can you hear me? Can you see me? Am I audible? So I thought I will confirm it and say, I'm sure you can see me. Well, thank you for that lovely welcome, Surya. It's a pleasure to be here. The reason why you are so kind enough to use such lovely words for me is because I didn't have too many people when I started off. So I had to reach out all the time to somebody or the other who would help, who would not, who would have other things to do. But there were some who were very, very kind. Some who were so, it is a pleasure to know them. And I'm privileged to call 3 people my mentors. Such a person is a role model in Toastmasters. And I thought it's good if I pay tribute to such people and be the same for budding Toastmasters who want to achieve excellence, who have dreams. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. That much about me. It's a pleasure to be here as a presiding officer, as someone who guides, as an advisor. It's a privilege. It's never that, someone who helps out, someone who does answers, that person is, that role is a privilege. And today, it's my pleasure to be the presiding officer for this particular session, 6th session. I have been keeping close contact, close eye, close watch on whatever has been happening in the group, and the reports I hear, the feedback that I get from Toastmaster Tabassum is something phenomenal, and I'm very proud that we are both a part of this event. My duty is to introduce the moderator, but I'm not going to do that right now. This is an opportunity I don't want to miss. I would like to congratulate all the members here for having taken this step. 6 sessions late. Hey, you're seeing me for the first time, so I'm right in this. This platform gives you an opportunity to develop your speaking skills, your leadership skills, your thought process, your critical thinking skills as well, and your presence of mind. You've all been giving your speeches. You've all been having your educational sessions. Take all the inputs that you get with both hands. This is an opportunity you should not let go without taking 150%. Speechcraft is speak magic. You learn to speak, you learn to use your gestures, you learn to use your body language, you learn to use your words, your stage presence, so to speak here, your screen presence. When you imbibe, just don't leave it as, oh, it's something that I learned in speechcraft. Don't leave it like that. My suggestion here, my advice also is, please carry it forward to your workplaces. You're already doing it. I'm sure you're already doing it. But it's my privilege to tell you and reinforce that once you start imbibing it, once you start acting as if it is there in you, good communication skills, strong communication skills, powerful communication skills, it becomes real. Act as if it exists and it is there. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 6th session. You have learned something or the other in all the educational sessions, and you've all been giving your speeches. I wish each and every person involved in speechcraft, learning, imbibing, articulating, all the very best. May you prosper. May you do so well that your employers are proud of you. You are proud of yourself. You ultimately end up becoming an empowered version of who you are. It's never the best version. We are the best. That's why we are here. We become more empowered. To be more empowered is to be strong. That's ultimate power. Now, to bring that into focus, we need someone who's going to get everything together. Obviously, we need a moderator. Now, I have somebody who lovingly introduced me, and it's my pleasure to introduce him to you. This gentleman is a recently graduated dentist. Keep that in mind. And from there, he's moved on to pursuing a diploma in applied psychology. I have a whole lot of other details. Intervention coaching, one of the most, I would not say happening, one of the most dynamic coaching systems. NLP, CBT, hypnotherapy, and other alternative healing modalities. He is a founder of Sun's Den Premium Mastermind, and he trains people in personal and professional high-income skills. Of course, he has a lot of people supporting him, and he supports everyone. He's also the co-author of the Complete Happiness Quest, and that's available on Udemy. I plan to get hold of that. He joined Toastmasters. Now talking about his Toastmasters journey. In 2021, February 21st, no, February 14th, on Valentine's Day, he started a quest, a romance with Toastmasters. Whirlwind. 89 days. First pathway he completed. I'm sure you know there are 2 paths to be completed before you complete the educational level. There are others, but then let the mentors, let the others help you out there. The second pathway he finished in 29 days. That usually takes about 6 months for people. But this gentleman ran through it. Whirlwind romance. And he started on his 3rd pathway as well. And hopefully he will go on to his 4th and 5th. And at last, there will be no other paths to this year. But he has had, now the notable fact is he had 111 best role player certificates to this date from February 14th. At this moment, ladies and gentlemen, he is the VP membership of Speak Magic Toastmasters Club. Friends, Toastmasters and speech crafters, lend me thy ears. Please put your hands to welcome our moderator, who was a sergeant at arms just before, Dr. Toastmaster Suryadeep Majumdar. Surya, the screen is yours, my dear, and I'm very proud of you, as I'm going to be proud of everybody else. Over to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Let's give it up for distinguished Toastmaster Gayatri, ma'am. I mean, she's a sweetheart. I mean, all the admiration, all the reverence, all the pranams, all the love, and we're so blessed that you graced our meeting today, ma'am. I mean, it's such a pleasure, and it's always such a blessing because when you have people to look up to, and you have a source where you're going to get all the help that you need, all the appreciation that you need, every problem will be solved. It feels so good. And that's what the family is all about. That's what the Toastmasters is all about. I fell in love with Toastmasters after meeting her. And I have to tell this, that today I'm so fortunate that presently, right now in this meeting, I got two of my mentors. Gayatri ma'am is here. Yogeshwari is there behind the scenes. Of course, she's also a co-coordinator. And our educational speaker is also a mentor. So, I mean, today's a huge day for me. So thank you so much, Gayatri ma'am. Amazing. Let's get started with today's session. So today's session number 6, so important. It's all about being strong. And that's what we've all done so far. We've had 5 sessions. We went through, we presented speeches, we presented table topics, we got evaluated, we presented evaluations as well. We won certificates, and it's been such a sensational couple of days for us. I mean, profound learning, I'm sure. But today is all about taking that to the next level. Because so many of you will be presenting your 3rd speech. Usually, if you're in the Toastmasters, it takes a little time to get used to presenting speeches, but thanks to the Speech Club program, you all are really gearing up for your 3rd speech, and amazing. So today, even before we proceed with the speeches, I would like to introduce our general evaluator of the day. So we're just going to spotlight them and give them a round of applause, then proceed. So our general evaluator of the day is our magical Vice President Education of Speak Magic Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster Yogeshwari, everyone. And she's looking absolutely gorgeous as always. Okay. Right. So the Zoom master is myself. So a round of applause for me as well, please. Yeah, it's a pretty hard job. Okay. And as a timer, where is our cool dude? Okay, I'm looking for him. Yes, let's give it up for Toastmaster Matthias Gansar, looking really handsome, and he's got a vibhuti as well on the forehead. I mean, really looking great, sir. So he'll be the timer of the day. So with that, what we will be doing is today, Team B. Wait, today is Wednesday. So team, yeah, I'm confused now. Which team is presenting their speech?
Mixed team.
Okay. No, officially, what's the thing? Team A is presenting their speeches, and Team B will be heading to the table topics room. So I'm going to start the breakout room, and I'm requesting. Yeah. So the rooms are on. I think it's there in your screen. So Team B can get themselves into the breakout room. Okay. And
Sir, I cannot see the timer.
Wait. You will see. Don't nothing to worry. You will see. You'll get to see the timer. Not a problem. As of now, let's first send our team B to the breakout room. So, so for those who have your screen right in front of you, please do make sure that you are heading to the breakout room for your table topics. And meanwhile, we will get started with our speeches. So today's speeches, more or less, we got a nice little mixture of, again, another amazing round of speeches for sure. So let's get started straight away. Our first speaker of the day will be Mukta ma'am. So Mukta ma'am is there, and she's looking magical as always. And Mukta ma'am will be evaluated by Sijo sir. So Sijo sir, I hope you are Ready? Yeah, just give me a thumbs up. Yes, yeah,
Yes.
perfect. Looking bright in red, Sridhar sir, amazing. So Mukta ma'am, your speech title is Great Minds Have Purpose, Others Have Wishes. Great minds have purpose, others have wishes. Over to you.
I cannot see the timer.
Ma'am, timer will be sharing the screen, so you don't have to worry about it.
Excuse me, Suryadeep, I am not able to go breakout room.
कहाँ से?
Yeah, even I have to
Where it
Okay,
is?
okay.
move to
One second. One second, one second. So Mukta ma'am,
करना
just give us a couple of minutes. Okay, who all needs to be assigned to the breakout room? First is okay, Yogeshwari. Who else? You just
Abhijit,
tell me.
Abhijit.
Yeah, Abhijit sir. Okay. So yeah, Abhijit sir is also into the breakout room. Anyone else who has to be sent? I think we all have. Yeah, everyone else is there. So perfect. So Mukta ma'am, the virtual yeah. So Mukta ma'am, the virtual podium is all yours. You're not audible, ma'am. You are not audible. You're not visible. So you have to turn on your videos. I can see that you're using two devices. So yeah, perfect. Now you're not audible. Yeah. You got to unmute yourself.
Can you hear me? Am I
Yes,
audible?
yes. Loud and clear, ma'am. Yeah, please go ahead.
Shall I start?
Yes, ma'am, please. Yes.
Great minds have purpose and others have wishes. In words of Washington Irving, little minds are tamed, subdued by nature, but great minds rise above them. I remember when I was a young, energetic, and curious child, I wanted to become a sailor and sail around the globe. Oceans always fascinated me. Do you know why? Do you know why? Ocean is blue and oceans are important. Why? Ocean produces half of the world oxygen and absorbs 50 times the carbon dioxide, more than the atmosphere. Life support system of our earth is ocean. Life support system of the earth is ocean. One day, my father took me to the ocean boat in South Goa and we went sailing into the ocean. Being the smallest child and the queen of my home, I sat behind and enjoyed with excitement while my father and the sailman sailed the boat. Firstly, I enjoyed a cool, chill escape in the ocean, glamorous vacation trip, amazing sunset view. Also, I loved the stories shared by my father. Later, as the time passed, I started feeling hungry and thirsty. It was pitch black all around. To my amazement, when my father announced that he had forgotten to bring food and water with him, and he was having a headache, an unknown fear gripped me. I started shaking. My heart started racing at full speed. Oh my God, water everywhere, but not a single drop of water to drink. What will I do? At that moment, my father explained me three things. We all have wishes. At that moment, my wish was to drink water. We all have dreams. I wanted to become a sailor. Third, but to make them true, we must make them our purpose. We must make them our purpose. That is, face hardships, work hard for them, and never give up. Suddenly, I noticed a hot air balloon which was rising high despite of wind, which inspired me and carried me my negativity with me. Then I gathered my courage and focused my journey back. This time, I helped the salesperson try to understand how to navigate in dark with the help of compass and started rowing back to the shore. With our combined efforts, we reached the shore in 1.5 hours. A twist came in my life. As soon as we reached the shore, my father took out the battery light, drinking water and sandwiches out of the same boat and asked me to have some. I realized three things. It is never about destination, but about the journey. My childhood dream was fulfilled. There is only one difference between wish and purpose. That is our will. Feeling of relaxation and lightness came in my mind. So friends, are you ready to change your wish into purpose? I repeat, are you ready to change your wish into purpose? Have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Absolutely amazing. Let's give it up for Mukta ma'am, her second speech. And well, I somehow need to brush through the dictionary maybe because I need to learn more adjectives to just praise how beautiful our speeches are. So without further ado, let's bring up your evaluator, Sijo sir. Yes, please do the honors evaluating the speech, sir.
Yeah, thank you. I think we heard a very wonderful speech by Mukta ma'am. I was totally hearing everything. I mean, I was going through the ocean as a sailor with you in your journey as a sailor. Definitely, I feel that you have given justice to the topic of great minds have purpose, others have wishes. So I saw that you have used many props, especially posters of at different point in time that made the message more clear. There were hand gestures at different points, and I think it was a very well speech throughout. If I want to give a couple of recommendations, I felt that the voice modulation could have been, it was at one tone throughout, especially when you are describing about the your journey at different points. There could have been some variation that you would have brought in. Other thing, when you were taking up that props, couple of times I felt that if it was a little bit nearer by, probably it won't have distracted you. Just to summarize, I think it was overall a very wonderful speech from your side. Definitely we should work hard for our purpose, and we should have a purpose, then only we will be able to achieve it. Thank you, ma'am, for this wonderful speech.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, this is great. This is great. Amazing. So our congratulations. Let's give it up for both Sijo sir and Mukta ma'am, everyone. Brilliant. Okay, we're going to move on with our second prepared speech of the day. And our second prepared speaker is Suresh sir. So where is our handsome hunk? Okay, he's ready, smiling, glittering in violet today. Okay, this is great. And Suresh sir will be evaluated by Ashutosh sir. So Ashutosh sir, just give me a thumbs up. Yes, you're looking dashing as well. So two handsome hunks, one speaking and one evaluating. So let's bring up Suresh sir to the spotlight. Suresh sir, your speech title is Success is a Journey, Not a Destination. Success is a journey, not a destination. Suresh sir, the virtual podium is all yours.
When you think of success, what comes to your mind first? We see success as achieving the goals or target set for ourselves. Hi, amazing Toastmasters and my fellow speechcrafters and dear guests. In the year 1953, when Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay literally went up where no human being had been, when they became the first people to reach the peak of Mount Everest. Can you imagine what they must have felt there? Is it pride, accomplishment, or intense fulfillment. Now, think about the most important achievement in your life. Remember that feeling when you finally achieved your difficult mountain of success. Can you think of that feeling? After achieving that success, did you stop there or did you continue your journey? As we progress in life, the definition for success keeps changing in life. As a small boy, as a student in school, it's about getting good grades in school. When you reach college, it's about getting good placement or a good job. At work, it's about making your life more comfortable. So do you really think his journey of life ends with one success? No, right? It's a journey. Success is a journey. It's not a destination. So the small boy think his journey, if his journey of life ends with, I'm sorry, I forgot the lines. Can I take up in the last time? Last minute?
You will have to continue, sir. Yeah,
I just getting blank.
that's okay. That's absolutely fine. Okay, let's all first of all give up a round of applause for Suresh, sir. Come on, everyone, because this is also a huge learning experience for all of us. And the best part here is he's being honest and he's literally accepting that he's getting blank, which is super important from a speaker's perspective because you're going to learn a lot more for sure. Okay, so whatever you've spoken so far, let's bring your evaluator and let's see what Ashutosh sir has to say. Ashutosh sir, over to you.
Hi, Suresh Babu sir.
Hi. Good
Firstly,
evening.
good evening. I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
I see some black color device. So, are you using some
Yeah,
kind of a
this is
microphone?
a mic.
Oh,
This is a
great,
mic.
great. Oh, great. It shows your professionalism and
Yeah. I was fully
your
prepared.
preparation.
Yeah.
Amazing. Hats off.
Yeah.
Suresh Babu sir, I can say I have already boarded the train of my going back to my my journey of
Okay.
life.
Yeah.
The way you are telling that student of a school and then a college and then the work life. So I was with each prob, it was reminding me how my college time or my school time and my current professional time. So amazing usage of prob to give an live experience to relate. I'm sure all of the listeners must be able to relate with their timelines or the important milestones of success which has happened in their life.
Yeah.
And also, I think your body language was very amazing with the whatever. I'm sure you had something very much more content which was planned for, which would have been an
Yeah.
definitely kind of a nailing on the final nail on the bolt. But the body language was very amazing.
Yeah.
And definitely, as a recommendation, I find that maybe because of your preparation was less, you missed to kind of remember the complete speak at a stretch, and you landed blank. So complete preparation would have been made the speech superb or amazing. So that's it from my side, Dr. Surya.
This is great. Amazing. Let's give it up for both our speaker and evaluator. What an experience, a different kind of an experience. And I have to share this with you all before we move on to the next speaker. I remember when I was asked to present a particular speech and I was not prepared at all. So I realized I will not stand and speak. I will sit and speak. Since this is the online portal going on, what I'll have is the laptop lens is here. The Zoom meeting is going on. I'll have the word file right in front of me so that I can. But let's all give it up for Suresh sir, because he did not apply the same principles. He made it an attempt to really present a speech, and that's the hallmark of a professional, as Ashutosh sir rightly pointed out. So great round of applause for both Suresh sir and Ashutosh sir. This is great. We'll move on to the next speaker. Our next speaker is Dr. Rajeshwari ma'am, who is really sparkling in that sari, and she will be evaluated by Mukta ma'am. So Mukta ma'am, are you ready? Give me a thumbs up. Perfect. So Rajeshwari ma'am, let's bring her up. Oh my God, I think today, right now my heart just skipped a beat. So I'm just going to help myself back. Rajeshwari ma'am, your speech title is Who Let the Dogs Out? Who let the dogs out? Dr. Rajeshwari,
Yep.
over to you.
Good evening, Toastmasters and my dear speech crafters. $1 million question for all of you. Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Ho, 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 ho. You may remember this song. There's a story behind the original song. It actually began 15 years before the Baha Men released it in 2000. It became a hit. There were complexities surrounding the song. Brooklyn artist Ben Sisto put 10 years of research trying to find out who wrote it. It was found that 2 kids from Jacksonville, Florida, claimed to have written it 6 years before Baha Men released the song. Also, there was some evidence of the chant by a college team back in 1985. After that, a movie was also made with the song in it, and the song won Grammys and had lots of legal battles too. You know, that's what happens when lots of revenue, name, and fame is created with some kinds of hoax. Jokes apart. Now, getting to the point, let's look at the history of COVID with the same angle. There's a lot of curiosity and skepticism amongst the people about the origin and treatment of COVID. Who let the doctors out to save people's lives? Were they given enough safety measures, PPEs, insurances, and any compensation to their bereaved families? A big no. Apart from that, an added benefit of bearing a burnout of continuous duties and watching people die in front of them. Feeling guilty of not able to save them. The AIMS recently claimed 800 deaths in the second wave. Leave alone the doctors from other systems who also died in large numbers. You very well know the case of Dr. Sudhakar, who was arrested, and a late surgeon from Tamil Nadu, whose family was stoned during the COVID by the apathetic public. Let me take you to another real incident. My colleague, who had just opened a new clinic after taking a huge loan, but he had to close it because he was already suffering with uncontrolled diabetes and hypertension. You know, not all doctors are born with a golden spoon in the mouth. The authorities sent a notice asking him to open the clinic immediately or else face the charges. Nowhere to go, the doctor had to open the clinic. And within a month, he died of COVID, leaving behind a young wife and 2 small kids. What followed was innumerable cases of humiliations and sorrows. There were daily news of doctors being assaulted whenever they went out collecting swabs in the localities. Being a doctor is a noble profession, but what is nobility? This is my question for you. Isn't it the human virtue which everyone has to follow? When WHO releases its ever-changing drug policies, it was the doctors who had to bear the brunt. They have no choice of treatment to give, even if they knew what should be given. In the hospitals, the doctors were grind between the management, the locals, and the politicians. Now, just like the song, COVID is still surrounded with complexities and unsolved mystery. The doctors are still dying, yet they are doing their best to save the lives. All this is not for playing a victim card. It is for a wanting of empathy. When death is lingering everywhere on our heads, isn't that we all are in the same boat? My heart screams with pain. My heart screams with pain, asking who let these dogs out? Can anybody give me $1 billion answer to this? Over to you, Toastmasters. Thank you.
I think the only word that's coming in my mind right now is finding. That's the only word. I mean, I could feel all of the anguish. I mean, needless to say, I mean, we all have to congratulate Rajeshwari ma'am, because she's the first speech crafter to finish her 3 speeches. So that's another huge achievement for Rajeshwari ma'am. Resilience, zeal, the whole ideology to be the best and strive. So that's, I mean, today's speech, ma'am, perfect icing on the cake. We couldn't have asked for anything better. So we'll now request your evaluator, Mukta ma'am, to evaluate your speech. Mukta ma'am, over to you.
Hello.
Yes,
Am I
ma'am.
audible?
Yeah, you're audible. You're audible. ma'am.
Dr. Rajeshwari, your topic was excellent. Doc Who is a brilliant idea. Your talent and beauty of words won my heart. It was amazing speech. But I think it is a very serious topic. You should use more props and try to add little humor in this tough topic, because seriousness is everywhere. Just on a lighter note, you should add some new experience. Shared experience were well shared, were very well shared. But what you think, that new positive approach which we should build but in this pandemic time, that should be highlighted by you. Your eye contact and voice modulation still requires something. I think you should try something. And you have beautifully worded it, and it was a fantastic, incredible speech. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, amazing. Thank you so much. Let's give it up for both the speaker and the evaluator. Now, I want to apologize. I've been forgetting my responsibility, one big responsibility, that I'm supposed to evaluate both the speaker and the evaluator very quickly. So I'll just get started. Mukta ma'am, your first speech, your speech was excellent, amazing. But a pointer of recommendation is that sometimes our excitement and our enthusiasm will take more attention than the content. So if you can slightly tune down and speak just like we speak normally, that will add a different kind of a flavor to your speech. Coming to your evaluator, Sijo sir, brilliant. I really loved how beautifully you structured the evaluation. Hats off to you on that. Just one pointer of recommendation for you would be to dive in a little more detail. For example, the speaker used props, which could have been highlighted, so that you can just focus on a little bit. Coming to the second speaker, Suresh sir, brilliant. I loved your speech. I think there was a little lack of practice for which you couldn't finish, but the way you were building it up, I mean, there's a lot that I have to learn from you, sir. And it also shows your professionalism, having that mic, and you were moving, you were having that stage choreography planned. So I'm sure you must have been working very hard on your speech. Now that you're gonna be a Toastmaster very soon, this has to be one of your trademark speeches, I'm pretty sure. Coming to your evaluator, Ashutosh sir, I loved the way you were crafting the words final nail in the coffin, just to quote unquote. I think stupendous job, sir. And best part is that you had that the whole approach of commendation, recommendation, and finally summarizing. You did that within time. So beautiful example, classic example of a sensational evaluation. So now coming to Rajeshwari ma'am, excellent speech as always. I think it's goosebumps, brilliant. Just one point of recommendation, if I have to. I was expecting one personal story at least. So your speech had a lot of facts, a lot of information, a lot of things that is happening around. Had you put up one personal story, that would have just added that different kind of a flavor altogether. You would have personalized it a little more. That's what I felt. Coming to Mukta ma'am's evaluation, Mukta ma'am, what I felt is your evaluation was really good, especially the recommendations. Now, for someone like Rajeshwari ma'am, who is really an amazing speaker, so she would really appreciate to receive more evaluations, more recommendations. But in the Toastmasters, let's just say, it's always important to give a little more of the pat on the back. So I was expecting that we will talk about a little more about the good pointers, the stuff that impressed you in the speech, which I'm sure there were loads and loads of. So you can just calculate that commendation, recommendation. Ideally, if it's a 2-minute evaluation, 2 commendations, 1 recommendation, then summarization is more than. So that's my job, and I have to thank Gayatri ma'am in the chat box. She's the one who pointed me out, and that's why I remembered, okay, I'm supposed to do that. Let's give it up for Gayatri ma'am once again. That's why she's the genie. Now, before we proceed forward, I have a huge announcement. Our education speaker, distinguished Toastmaster Hemanth is in the house. People, let's give it up for Hemanth, sir. Amazing.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
We're going to get back to Hemanth, sir, as soon as our speeches are over and all our Team B. Team B, yes, Team B is back into the main room, and then we will obviously be welcoming distinguished.
Yes, looking forward. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, our next speaker, she will be evaluated by the handsome hunk with the French beard, Suresh sir. I think he's gearing up. Suresh sir, give me a thumbs up. You're ready for the evaluation. Perfect, smiling as always, and he's got his glasses on as well. Let's bring up the speaker now. I have to talk about this lady. She was assigned to me as my mentee, but it's the other way around. I learned more from her, the way she's been designing her speeches and all. It's been an absolute pleasure. Let's invite Kavya ma'am to the virtual podium. Kavya ma'am, I'm just going to share the screen with you for a few minutes. Okay. So your topic is for women in the pursuit of motherhood and career. For the women in the pursuit of motherhood and career. Kavya ma'am, the virtual podium is ours.
Please don't leave me, Mama. Be with me, Mama. Mama, please don't leave me, Mama. These are the words that are being told by my son, crying uncontrollably, not allowing me, pleading me to stay at home. I have been with him for the past 1 year due to this COVID. And we had a very cherishing moments together. We played both of them. I have taught him so many things. We had a very, very precious, noteworthy moments in our life in this span of 1 year because of COVID. And a day has come when I have to step out from my workplace. On that day, my son was crying uncontrollably. He's pleading me not to leave from home. But I am powerless. I have to move on. And that day, I sobbed uncontrollably. In the span of 5 years of my professional expertise, I have witnessed a slew of heart-wrenching incidents. Every day is a huge challenge managing career and children. And more importantly, balancing the personal and professional life. Being a woman is not at all easy for me. It is loaded with so many challenges, so many hurdles, so many sacrifices. Every day, every new day is an opportunity on one hand, or a challenge on the other hand. And I have took up all this together, equally managed it, moved on. My children were sick at times, but I could not be there with them. I have been at workplace, despite the fact that I was been at workplace, my heart, my emotions are constantly drawing around him. What they were doing, are they really well or not? And it was a very, very painful moment at that point of time. Growing up, I have discovered that many people, I have heard that women can either be she can have either a good career or she can be a good mother, but can't be both. And from my perspective, that is absolutely very, very wrong. I have seen so many women and have been seeing who can balance these two boats exceptionally very, very well. And it has been proved as well. Facts have been proved. That research has been conducted in Harvard University, where they have taken 50,000 adults across 28 different countries and proved that the children of working mother, they can have a positive, they can transmit positive gender attitudes. And the daughters of working mother can have highly promising career. And the relationship the working mother will hold with their children is extremely very, very strong, and it is equal to the stay-at-home mothers as well. And many times, this balancing of personal and professional life, many mothers I have witnessed, they were constantly under pressure. And I've also been the witness of that. And even me, constantly under pressure, where concentrating on my career will impact my children's future. And those particular talks constantly focus on hypothetical negative effects rather on hypothetical positive effects the working woman can have on their children. It is seemingly surprised to see what kind of benefits the working mother can give to their children. And more often I see that motherhood, many people treat motherhood as a job. They can be a good mother or better mother or a worse mother, but depending upon their mothering skill. But what I feel that motherhood cannot be either worse or better. It's all about being the better version of ourselves, giving unconditional love, care, support to our children, whenever we spend time with them. Always I have a thought, and it's been daunting me always. I could not able to spend time with my children. And holding up this many responsibilities, this many challenges, could not able to be with them when they extremely needed me. All these challenges has put me down sometimes, where I could give up all this career and take care of them. But one incident has changed my entire perspective of how I look at this balancing of these two extremely very, very, very important perspectives of my life. I remember a day when everyone in my family are congratulating me for receiving the second level of my PhD completion certificate. On that day, my children were extremely very, very happy. Even though they are not understanding what is going outside, but still I can see a sense of happiness, a sense of pride in their eyes. And that pride gives me strength, and that pride is what keeps me going on in overcoming all these obstacles and all these hurdles in my way of balancing this particular aspect of personal and professional life. Every mother wants to occupy a special place in the heart of their children. And I want to be the role model to my children. And to all the mothers in this Toastmasters, you want to be the role models for your children. And it is absolutely necessary for us to balance these two boats exceptionally very well. Thank you so much.
Amazing, amazing. This is great. This is great. Now look at that sigh of relief. I think for those who have noticed, I mean, another spine-tingling speech for sure. I mean, thank you so much for that, Kavya ma'am. I think we got to give a round of applause for Kavya ma'am as well. She has also completed 3 speeches in the Speechcraft. It is just a phenomenal achievement. But let's bring up, I think the handsome hunk evaluator is ready to evaluate. Suresh sir, over to you.
It was absolutely amazing speech. I thoroughly enjoyed the speech. I was thinking, when I was hearing, I was thinking about my mother, because my mother is a housewife. So at that time, when we say that my mother is a housewife, they will not consider that as a career. But as far as I am concerned, she's doing really a good job. But when I hear Kavya Mom's speech, you are managing family life as well as your professional life. So that means it's double. So, and I really liked the points that you said, 50,000 samples, they were analyzed, and the result shows that women can be both, they can handle both family as well as professional life. That's really a eye-opener, and it can motivate the women who are looking for career, managing career as well as family life. It's a good motivation. And coming to, I really liked all the points. You had good clarity, good vocal variety, good eye contact, good gestures. You are using good gestures, and you had the audience awareness and comfort level. You were very comfortable, and you had good interest. And one recommendation, it's a small suggestion which I felt, uh, uh, because this topic is involves a lot of emotions. So if you could add some more emotions, it would have really added the more value to your speech. So there is a one suggestion I have. It was really simply amazing speech.
This is great. Oh my God. I think it's the best part is right now being a Toastmaster, I feel it's my blessing, it's my good fortune that I'm getting to coordinate the speech craft, because I'm learning so much from the speech crafters themselves, and that's the power. It's sensational. If I have to evaluate both Suresh sir and Kavya ma'am, I will first, let's bring up both in the podium first. Where is Suresh sir? Come on. Okay, wait, I'm not able to, just 1 second. Yeah, Suresh sir is there. Yes. So first, Suresh sir, brilliant. You already won a couple of best evaluators certificates. So you're already in that flow of getting into the evaluation. Brilliant. You had these set of commendations coming up, boom, 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 boom. So speakers, they obviously feel amazing when they get to know what are the things you like as an evaluator from the speaker. Now, the recommendation was absolutely spot on, which also goes to show your observation. If I really have to evaluate you, I'm going to do that a little critically by encouraging you to give a certain kind of a structure to your evaluations. So maybe you can start with a quote. And again, this is something I've learned from Gayatri ma'am. Okay. You can start with a quote, some unique quote, and then you talk about the commendations, recommendations, and end with a quote, with an insight, with maybe a question to the speaker, and also that it just keeps the whole. And I'm saying that again because you are capable of doing it, right? So that you can just work on. But brilliant evaluation. Coming to Kavya, ma'am, your evaluator has obviously told you every single thing that you need to know. You are already such an amazing speaker, and in the last 3 weeks, I think you will be your best judge on how was your icebreaker speech, and now how is your get to the point speech. I mean, the transition, the amazing shift in the paradigm of your speeches, exceptional. Since this is your third speech and you are such a phenomenal speaker, I'll just dive in a little deeper. Now, you're already amazing with voice modulation, but I want to introduce you to 2 more terminologies. One is called as intonation. Intonation, the way you pronounce the words. Number 2 would be tonality, the pitch, the loudness of your voice. So there were moments when you could have easily said, isn't it very hard for the women? You had that line in your speech. So when you slow it down and you apply a little pauses, it really touches the audience at a much deeper level. So these are the little things which you can start incorporating in your speeches to take it to the next level. But overall, scintillating evaluation, scintillating speech. Let's give it up for both of them. And now let's bring up our next speaker. Okay, by the way, before I bring up the next speaker, I think the table topics team is back in the house. I think the voting link has been put up. Please do make sure you cast your vote, but this is only for the table topics team. So only they are allowed to vote. No cheating. Okay. Let's bring up our next speaker in the house. We have, okay, now this is a very dynamic soul again. So we have Sijo sir as our next speaker, and Sijo sir will be evaluated by Rajeshwari ma'am. So Rajeshwari ma'am, you're ready? Just give me a thumbs up. Yes, you are. Okay. So perfect. Sijo sir, your title is Family is Everything. Family is everything. Sijo sir, the virtual podium is all yours.
If you want to bring happiness in this world, go back home, love your family. The famous quote of Mother Teresa. By definition, family is a group of people related with each other. Friends, this is my family. But it is more than that. For me, family is relationship of love and care, giving and sharing, gratitude and service. I remember one morning when I got up, I was not feeling that well. I was feeling that there is something wrong with me. I thought that I will require some help. I called up my wife. She came up immediately. I started feeling heaviness in breathing. My body started trembling. And I was not knowing what is happening to me. A fear struck in my mind that I might not leave. The scream of my wife awaked my parents. They came running. They came calm to me, rubbed my palms, wiped my face. My wife immediately informed my friend next door to take me to the hospital. I was admitted to the hospital. It was a stress attack. I had to go through multiple tests. Multiple months I had to go through changing my lifestyle, work pattern, food habits. And I remember without my family's support, it was nearly impossible. And this is only one of the instances where my family helped me to reach where I am today. I am what I am because only of my family. And family is everything for me due to 3 reasons. Number 1, gift of life. Our parents gave this life as a gift for us. We came to this world as helpless, naked, and crying. They took care of us and brought us so far. And I could really realize this value when I myself became a parent. The sleepless nights that I and my wife had to go through when my son was ill, or the patience or the babysitting required to bring my children up. Second, guide and support. Our parents have been always our guide and support, all to fulfill our dreams. In my college days, I remember to read my studies. Our family income was not that great, but my father said, "You worry about the studies. I will take care of the fees." My mother used to get up early morning and make tea so that I remain awake and concentrate on my studies. Even today, with the pandemic, when there was a threat, the support words from my wife, "Don't worry. Even if your job goes, I am with you." This all brings a lot of support and care. Number 3, boundless love. Even if we are in a crowd, sometimes we are alone. In the offices, in our social gatherings, we are all together with many people, but in our family, we are never alone. Love in a family is just like the cement that binds up, music that brings harmony, oil that avoids friction. Friends, family is a blessing that God has given to each one of us. And having a happy family is not that everybody receives. During this time of pandemic, many people came back to life only because of the support of the family. In our modern age, we are giving more importance to work, social life, and money. But don't you think there is something beyond that, and that is family? Thank you.
Absolutely brilliant. I mean, today, the weird part about every speechcraft session is that the prepared speeches are taking us through pushing our barriers of our emotions, literally pushing us beyond the threshold. And this was one more example of such a sensational speech. So to evaluate Sijo sir, can I request Rajeshwari ma'am? Ma'am, where are you? Oh, yeah, there you are. Okay, yes, ma'am. The podium is on.
Yes, Sejo sir, it was a brilliant speech, heartfelt storytelling it was. It was quite emotional and quite relatable, not only to me, but everybody, I think, present here. You gave very good examples of being a parent. Also, you said three things very important, and it's a very beautiful example to give three things always as examples. You also gave your personal story of childhood. That was wonderful. You made us visualize the scenes of your childhood and of your family. And finally, at the last, you put a very good question at the end, calling for action. It was mind-boggling. Beautiful speech. And one thing is a little bit of more emotions you could have put, that would have added to greater advantage. That's what.
Absolutely amazing. Let's give it up for both our speaker and evaluator. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Rajesh.
I made a huge mistake by removing the spotlight, so we'll have to get everybody added once again as I evaluate. So I'm going to add myself. And where is Sujos? Yeah, Sujos is there. So this one. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So let's get on. Brilliant. What a phenomenal evaluation. First of all, Rajeshwari ma'am, spot on, absolutely spot on. 2 commendations, 1 recommendations, finally completing with a beautiful little insight as well as thanking the speaker. Now, this the last time you took up an evaluation, I think you were not prepared because you were unknown, but this time you were absolutely spot on, brilliantly done. Just the one small thing that I would encourage you is whenever you are observing now, since Sujo sir presented such a delightful speech, lot of loads and loads of elements from where we can learn from. Elements of public speaking, elements of storytelling, elements of profoundness, the delivery and everything. It's so important since you're allowed to recommend 2 commendations. What are the 2 specific things that you like? Very specific. So what will happen is it just keeps you in the edge that you need to listen to the entire speech, and at the same time you are diving deep and coming up with very subtle commendations which probably the audience will also not observe. So that would be a good way to really look at it. So that would be my recommendation for you, ma'am. Coming to Sujo sir, sensational speech, and I feel so privileged that I got to mentor you in the speech. But having said that, I think all the amazing elements, I have to tell you this, you got a phenomenal body language, vocal variety was there. The way you structured your entire speech, you had pointers, you had personal stories, every single thing. Now, along with what Rajeshwari ma'am has told you, I am going to encourage you with this tool called the power of pauses. It's such a thought-provoking speech. Imagine the moment you pause and focus. If you're listening to me right now, obviously you will be a little more attentive, right? Instantly, you become a little more attentive. That's the power of the pauses. Maybe in your subsequent speeches, you want to incorporate the pauses as well. But what a sensational speech, delightful speech. Let's give it up for both Rajeshwari ma'am and Sija sir, everyone. This is great. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Surya sir. Thank you.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so now we got our last speaker, but a speech for which we were waiting. We were waiting for him. We were waiting for him, and now he's here to deliver the speech. Let's bring up Ashutosh sir in the house. This is great. He's ready. He's ready. And to evaluate Ashutosh sir, we have Kavya ma'am. So Kavya ma'am, all good to go? Perfect. That's great. So Ashutosh sir, your speech type. Stay hungry, stay foolish. Stay hungry, stay foolish. Ashutosh sir, the virtual podium is all yours.
Stay hungry, stay foolish. Have you ever heard this before? The first time I heard or read this quote was in the signature of the new boss email about 4 years back. I was thinking this is probably about following a good diet plan. A diet plan in which you do not require to stay hungry and eat at small intervals. To become more healthier, and if you're trying to lose weight, lose weight. I was very happy about myself that I'm not a foolish person. I eat regularly and I don't stay hungry. Actually, if I say somebody that this person is very hungry or this person is a foolish person, he may not like it. If I say in this forum that Dr. Surya is a very hungry person, he may not like it. And if I say my fellow friend Suresh sir is a foolish person, he may like to grab me from within the screen. But I want to tell these two gentlemen, please bear with me for next 2 minutes before giving your reactions. Hello, fellow speech crafters and toastmasters. I'm quite likely sure by end of my speech, these two gentlemen might change their opinion. When I tried to find actually what is the meaning of stay hungry, stay foolish, what I found was this. I'm sure all of you know who he is. He is Steve Jobs, the famous person who has made Apple the biggest company in the world. Stay hungry, stay foolish. This is what Steve Jobs said at the end of his speech to the students of Stanford University at their graduation ceremony. The speech was about the events that has occurred in his life, events that has led him to learn and grow in his life. When Steve was born, his biological mother has given him to adoption to another parents. And the only condition his mother gave him for adoption was Steve should go to a very good college. That is the reason Steve went to a very good college, although his parents were not able to afford it. When he started going to college, actually, after year 1 of the college, he realized the study of the college is not sufficient, is not good, and is too costly for his working class. And he decided to drop from the college. And he took a short-term course in calligraphy. And finally, that short-term course of calligraphy he used later in his life to make Apple computers with beautiful fonts. That fonts we are still using in our computers. And the one last lesson which he mentioned about was the experience of his near-death experience, near-death experience when he was diagnosed with cancer. After he diagnosed with cancer, he realized that his life is limited. So he started focusing only on very important things, leaving the other things aside. And that is the reason he could make Apple one of the biggest companies in the world. He was probably only CEO in the world who was fired from his old company, rejoined again at the time when company was filing bankruptcy, and made it again one of the biggest companies in the world. Probably Steve Jobs knows the meaning of stay hungry, stay foolish very well. It is about following your intuitions, following your heart, do what you love, and do not worry about external validations. Keeping in mind, your time is limited. Focus only on very important things. Today, my hunger and my foolishness has brought me to this beautiful club, to this workshop of speech crafters, and meet all you beautiful souls and learn from you all. Where is your hunger and where is your foolishness taking you? Thank you. Over to you, Toastmasters.
Let's give it up for Ashutosh, sir, everyone. What a sensational speech. I mean, especially that first move. But I'm not going to talk anything yet. Let's bring up your evaluator, Kavya ma'am. So Kavya ma'am, please do the honors evaluating Ashutosh, sir. Over to you, ma'am.
So it is extremely amazing speech, and the first you have started is brilliant, and the way you came forward, your gestures was awesome. And stay hungry and stay foolish, whatever the content you have told is absolutely apt to that particular title. And your voice, especially, you have made at the time of telling that quotes or important things, you were slowing down, pauses you are giving, that is extremely very well. And you were talking about Steve Jobs, what was his entire team behind giving this particular stay hungry and stay foolish statement, and that is absolutely amazing, sir. And the way you are moving backward and forward and relevant to the content is very nice. And one thing if I would like to say is, there sometimes I've observed that your legs, means one, it was moving unnecessarily. That is what I've observed. And second important thing is voice modulation, that it might be somewhat energetic in between, and that is what the second thing I would like to say. And overall, summing up, it is extremely amazing speech, and the things what you have told is really apt to your title, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, first of all, round of applause for both our speaker and evaluator. This is great. Okay, before we get to Ashutosh, sir, Kavya ma'am, phenomenal evaluation. That's the only word. Beginning, commendation, recommendation, and summarization, ending with congratulations. That's how an entire structure of an evaluation is supposed to be. What I really loved is the detailing again of the commendation. That was also brilliantly done. Now, if I have to really be a little critical in your evaluation, the one thing that I would want you to work on is the way you design your evaluation. So the designing, you did mention about body language, vocal variety. Kudos. Which part do you think can be worked upon, maybe with a small little example, a small little demonstration? I'm telling this to you again because you have that capability. You can do that. You are such an amazing speaker. So the speaker will obviously get that demonstration and instant learning happens. So other than that, of course, a brilliant evaluation. Coming to Ashutosh, sir, I mean, what was that? How did you manage to really come close to the camera and begin that speech? It was absolutely spot on, sir. I really loved the start, the way you structured your entire speech, the way you presented, everything was just beautiful. And obviously your evaluator has given you all the things. But I am just going to critically observe you a little more, and a few things that I felt can be worked upon is your natural method of standing, as we learned from Yogeshwari, is the steeple method. Now, everything is okay about the steeple method, but somehow I felt you were a little conscious, a little too conscious about the steeple method. So anyways, when your hands and legs were moving a little bit, you instantly gained consciousness and you got into steeple method. What it does is, it takes the attention of the audience away from your content. It takes your attention also away from the content. So what you've done for most of the speech, be natural. Be natural. Let your hands flow. Let your energy flow, because you have that amazing energy. But other than that, of course, a sensational speech. Let's give it up for Ashutosh sir as well. This is great. So all our round of speeches are over. All our round of speeches are over. Now what I'm going to be doing is very careful instructions. Only the speakers and those present in the main room are allowed to vote. Table topics team, please do not vote. I'm going to put up the best speaker and the best evaluators polling. It's right there in your screen. Please vote for your best speaker and your best evaluator. So we are done with the whole speech session. Now, there's someone that I would like to really talk about for just a few minutes. I remember the first time when I attended a Toastmasters meeting. It was the 26th of December, 2020, last year. Yogeshwari was presenting a speech. So she gave me the link and she said, come on, join up. You've never been in a Toastmasters meeting before. But this legendary soul was the presiding officer for the day. And he spoke about his experience in the Toastmasters. He was in the car and he was holding his phone probably like this and speaking. It was dark. I couldn't see him at all. I could notice a little bit of his beard though and his glasses. And I remember that one thing he said, which still to this date remains etched in my heart and has already helped me to transcend across borders and present speeches all across the planet, giving me that confidence, igniting that flame of being a Toastmaster for me. He is the second Toastmaster from Speak Magic Toastmasters Club to achieve the Distinguished Toastmasters Award, which is the greatest award in the Toastmasters fraternity once you've qualified a lot of levels and put in all those hard work. Keeping aside all his achievements, what makes him so special is the two things that we all want to learn from the Toastmasters. Exceptional in public speaking skills. He's been a champion. Exceptional leadership skills. He's a leader for all of us in the club. The third most important thing is the willingness to help serve and listen, observe. I'm so privileged to welcome my mentor, someone I irritate all the time. Let's give it up for Distinguished Toastmaster Hemanth Krishna to the virtual podium. And he's going to guide us through the education session for the day. So DTM Hemanth Krishna, the virtual podium is all yours.
Thank you so much, Suryadeep. Well, you have amazing ways to introduce everybody. And I'm just going to start the video. Can I also have the share screen so that I can present my PPT?
Yes,
is that
it's
possible?
given. Yeah, it's given.
Perfect. Just a second. Okay. Well, am I audible and visible?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear, and you're looking very handsome.
Thank you so much. Well, just a second. I'm not able to see any of you. Just a second. How do I just minimize this PPT? I'm not able to view the audience at all.
Yeah, just 1 second. So you'll have that that little divide in between, like audience and the screen. So you can just go to that middle part and just drag it. So your PPT will become small and you'll be able to visualize everyone. I think you can try that.
Okay, I'm just trying on that. No, could somebody help me on that?
So is it okay if I can?
Yeah, that'll be great too. I can send it to you right away. Is that fine?
Yeah, perfect. Yes. Meanwhile, as you're doing that, I will encourage your second mentee, Yogeshwari, to please bless us with a few words about Hemanth sir.
No, I'm just getting out of the action right now. So I just have sent you the PPT so that we'll get started. Well, a very good evening to all the beautiful members and guests today. So my name is Hemanth Krishna TA, and I recently was accredited with this award called the Distinguished Toastmasters Award. Well, I'm very delighted. So every time I come back right now, it is something that I want to give it back to the moment. So I know all of us here have one thing in common, which is to learn communication and be better at speaking. So today, the topic is going to be the choice of words. So as soon as the PPT gets started, the first image that I have is, can you get the PPT started? So we'll keep this interactive because it is going to be pretty. Yeah. Okay, I got it. I right now found out how to do that. Okay, anyways. So the choice of words is the topic that I'm going to cover today. And can we go? Yeah. So if you can, we'll keep it interactive because it's going to be very interesting. So now nobody gets a little overwhelmed because I keep talking for the next 30 minutes. And that way we can all have fun and learn. And I have just a few pointers in my slides that I can share. So all of us can discuss and feel even at this workshop. So could you identify what is in my PPT image? On the left is just like us discussing, talking and all that. On the right is the animal kingdom. So can you tell me what is the difference? I mean, I know it is a little blunt, but then I'm just getting to know from your angle. Yeah, please.
Animal can't communicate through.
Okay.
In the picture, a group of people are interacting with each other, whereas the other picture where the animals are there, they are not interacting, they are just facing outward. So
okay.
They're not social. I'm not actually.
Oh, that's okay. We can keep it coming. Absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Hi, I think the animals have some kind of a non-vocal way of communication. So it's just by standing beside each other, they make some kind of a non-vocal communication and they understand each other's psychology. So I think the animals are in that phase of mind. And like as humans, as you rightly said, it's kind of a discussion.
Great. That was pretty close to the proximity.
Yeah, so what I feel is that the animals are pretty happy seeing the rainbow after the rain. So they're trying to express their happiness around. On the other side, it is more about human gathering where they are chit-chatting over the after the meeting. Probably they are having a light time.
That's amazing. That's a beautiful way of interpreting the picture. Anybody else?
Can I say?
Yes, please.
Yes, what I observe here is animals do not have the language or words to interact with each other. So they are not blessed with the language, whereas we as human beings, we are blessed with language, and therefore we are able to communicate and express through the words. So we choose words to communicate and speak, whereas animals cannot.
Perfect. That is the most closest thing that I was expecting. And more or less, that is my interpretation of the picture, my intention that I had to show this picture. So one common thing between animals and human beings are both of us are living beings, right? Human beings and animal kingdom, both of us are living beings. And both of us express. You do have to agree with me. Animals do express, human beings do express. But how the human beings express and how the animals express are pretty different, right? So animals can express, but then they cannot be vocal about it. They cannot get their thoughts and put in words and then say, hey, listen, you're a new giraffe and I really love you. I mean, they just probably can go close and then show their love in a different way. And the dogs, how they come and interact with the human beings is much different from the love that the same human beings, how they show to the dog is much different. They call the dog sweet names, they pet, they talk to the dogs. You know, human beings talk to everything, not necessarily human beings talk to somebody who only understands the language. I know people who talk to plants. I know every human being talks to dogs. So right now, I'm going to tell you why words are the most important thing, because in our expressive journey of life, we need the first thing as to choose words. So, okay, I wanted to as a pointer, but anyways, this is why the 5 points, I think the words are the most important. Words are first the identity of your thoughts, right? Do you think of something? And then if you want to really pen that down, or if you really want to say that out, you need to pick that word. Anything for that matter. Say pain. You feel pain and you have pain in your mind. If you want to talk about it, only you can pick up that word irrespective of which language you are using, right? So words are very important because it is first to identify your thought. It can be an idea, it can be a thing, it can be a feeling or anything that is, but unless and until you pick a right word, you will not be able to visualize and identify that particular thought. For example, babies, they probably are feeling hungry, but then by then they haven't learned the language. They do not know how to pick a word, so they cry for everything, right? So if they're hungry, we can just ask, I'm hungry, give me food. But then because they don't have the words coming, so it makes them difficult. As simple as that. Helps you convey the ideas to your audience. As simple as the beautiful speeches all of you have given, unless and until you have like a beautiful selection of words, how do you even convey it to the audience? Makes it very difficult, right? I mean, it's something that a very basic thing I'm touching upon. We all of us already know, but why I'm reiterating is something that we can do better from here on, how we can go about. So in the slides to come, I have a few things that I will tell you, things which we know by default, but things which you will have to pay attention to and work a little more so that we are cautious about what to talk and what to not talk, right? So the third thing is interpretation makes it easier for all of us to understand what you mean. When Surya is actually introducing me, his intention is to show light, throw light on who I am to the new set of audience I'm going to meet. So that interpretation, Surya is definitely going to keep in mind the audience who are sitting here. I'm very sure he will not introduce me the same way if all of you are 3-year-old or 4-year-old kids. He will have different way of telling it because he wants the audience to interpret his words and understand. So interpretation, that is something the words can actually help you do. The fourth one, words are for real. I'll tell you why. Because if you really pick up a word and then write it down, that is called history. That is called Bible. That's called Bhagavad Gita. That's called Quran, right? If Quran was just by the word of the mouth and it was not written anywhere, how would we even know? So words are something that is tangible, unlike just speaking. Although speaking also consists of words, we have to know that words can be tangible and intangible. In a way, when you talk, it is going to be tangible. And when you're going to write it down and then make it public and then you're able to have a book with you, it is definitely something that stays for real and for good. So that is why words are very important. And obviously, words can make you and break you, right? We've all been there. So when, as a therapist, the words are used to heal. And when you're a dictator, the words are used as a provoking strategy for the army. When you want to hurt somebody real bad, all that you can do is hurt somebody through your words. Sometimes they even say that you might have hit me, that I would have healed, that pain would have gone off. But the words that you say, I still have it itched in my heart. So that's why I say words is a like knife. You have to choose what you have to cut. So better be careful while you use your words. You have to be smart and be interpreting it in a way that the audience will have to understand and not overdo it as well. Can we go to the next slide, please? Right now. So words are a common thing. So the speaking or writing, nobody can claim words are mine. So if you're going to speak, you still need to pick words. If you're going to write, you still need to pick words. But the difference is that when you speak, when I am talking right now, it has to be immediately understandable to the ears. So we all know that when people talk very complex English words, we actually don't find them interesting for the very reason is that we lose track of them. Because say, for example, if I'm saying 5 things, the first thing is a little complex. Do you think you would be interested to listen to the second thing? Okay, maybe if you're a very smart person, you will feel like, oh, the first sentence was a little tough. Let me try and understand what is Hemanth saying in the second sentence. And if you get that also, then you will not be interested. Hey, this guy talks something irrelevant. I don't even understand his language. Isn't that how it is? So it's like if you have to talk to somebody, please make sure that whatever you talk is going to be simple and effective. Everything that you're going to talk word by word, each letter goes to the ears and to the heart directly and they understand it. And with respect to writing, it's very simple. You know, Shashi Tharoor tweets a very, very complex word. Go to Google and find it out yourself. Probably he also typed it that way. You never know. So as simple as writing, it's different. So choice of words, when you sit down and write, it is like you have a lot of time. You can really play with your words and make sure that your audience will have to not be pampered because they can do their homework to understand what they want to read and understand. So the crux of this is when you're speaking, pick a line of words that can be easily interpreted, that can be easily understood, that will make your audience fall in love with you. When you talk, make it simple, clear, convey the point. When you're writing, pick up your audience. Whom are you writing it for? And then you can choose the difficulty level that you're keeping for your audience. If you want your audience to actually understand it with a little difficult because you're going to make an impact, keep it moderate so that they will understand that, okay, this is not something like a storybook. I cannot just read and forget it. I have to read through it, sit and understand the meanings of the words and then understand the meaning and keep it in my heart. So it's a different way of choice of words when it comes to speaking and writing. And how you can select words are coming up in the next slides. Next slide, please. So points to keep in mind while picking up words, basically a to-do list. Okay, so all of us here want to be great communicators, undoubtedly. We all know that for communication, we have to pick up words. We have to make sure our thoughts are going to be in line with whatever we are going to intend to deliver to the audience, right? So what we do is we think of something, a great idea. How many of you are Tamil here? Okay, very less. Okay, so you know this lyrics from this line called Kanmani Anbodu Kadal. That song has a beautiful line that says, I can sing it for you, but the meaning says, when I think of you, I have a lot of poetry coming in. But then when I really want to sit down and write, I just cannot find the words. So that is how beautiful it is. Because when you can think of so many things, if you're not able to pick up the words, what is the whole point of your thoughts? You know, you can really be a Shakespeare, you never know. But then if you're not able to write, you're not one, right? So we'll get there where we have to sit down and then put our thoughts in line with the choice of words and make sure that we're going to deliver something super nice and impress the audience. Yes. So the target audience is very important. If you're going to give a speech, it's simple. Understand your target audience, no matter where you go, what you do, what you talk. If right here, I'm going to talk about taxation in a public forum, which is related to communication, it might not be very relevant. So target audience, choice of words. pick your choice of words related to the target audience that you're going to talk to. The second thing is that be clear, simple, yet detailed and concrete. Okay, now let's do a small activity. Okay, I'm going to say okay, we have 24 people. You can volunteer to come and say something. Otherwise, we can also, I can pick up members from here. That'll be dangerous. So I think you can volunteer. I'm going to say a word. Okay, I want you to not say that word, but then describe it. Okay, I'll just tell you for an example. A car. How otherwise can you just say it, add more colors, do more drama, whatever you're going to do, but convey the word car in a way that will impress me. Okay, I'll just say, I saw a very bright sky blue, polished, brand new vehicle on the road today. This is equal to car. Do you all agree with me? A car is a word, right? A car is a word, and whatever I explained is an expansion of whatever I saw. That's also a car. Now let's just randomly pick up words. You know, I will nominate Surya. He can actually call a word, and then he can pick up somebody in the audience, and then let them actually say something like this. You can just take like 10 seconds, and then the person, whoever is finished telling that expression of that word, can pick up another person and give some random word to them. And then we'll just, you know, make it like a mini TT. Okay, it's absolutely fine if you don't get it like any grade. It's going to be fun. I'm not going to be any teacher like Yogeshwari. I'm not going to scold all of you. So we're just doing this small activity. Let's cover up everybody so that we know that words are beautiful and yet it is also fun. Yeah. So I'm going to pick Surya. Let's start with Surya so that when I'm saying a word, I hope all of you get the, okay, I'll pick Mukta. She volunteered for it. Great. So I'm going to tell you a word. You're on mute. I'm going to tell you a word. You can just say something good about it, and then you can pick somebody else and then say another word to them. Let's see how it comes in. Okay. So the word that I'm going to give you is a sky.
You have given car or sky?
Sky.
Sky. Floating clouds in sky.
Perfect. Great. You can nominate anybody else and tell them any new word.
Dr. Rajeshwari. Sun.
Give them a word. Okay.
Sun.
More the expression of the words, more the points.
A beautiful star with a great amount of light and energy and warmth, which keeps the living beings on earth healthy and living.
Wow, wow, wow. Topper of the class, looks like. You can pick somebody else, nominate, and please tell them a word so that they can describe. Okay, I will do that for her. And I will nominate Surya, and then I will tell a star. I'm making it complex for you further. I know.
We look into the sky and something is glowing so much. And the more we look, the more we see his or her brothers and sisters twinkling so much. And right now, even as you're looking at me, I'm also trying to be one of that. So that would be my description.
Great, great, great.
I will nominate Yogeshwari. Her word will be bucket.
That is something which we have in all our houses. We used to carry water in it for various purposes, by the way. And without that, I think my word is bucket, right? Yeah. So that is being used to carry water. And most of us, we have it, without which I think we cannot, transport water from one place to another. And it also at times I use it for dumping in all my clothes, used clothes, and then I get shouting from my parents. So next, I would like to nominate Nidhi ma'am. And the word for Nidhi ma'am is I'm not getting one. Okay,
Can I give a word?
Eyes. I did it.
Okay.
Did you give a word?
Yes, eyes.
Eyes.
Yeah.
Eyes or
Yeah. Eyes.
can you all see me? Through what? It's
Wow.
just on your face with twinkling, what to say? But your eyelashes always close it. What is that? I don't know. You have to guess.
Wow, that is very smart way. That's amazing.
I should tell? Oh.
Yeah, you can nominate somebody else and give them a word.
Let me check whom can I. 1 minute. Joe sir,
Yes, ma'am.
I know you are very much, you love your wife a lot, so wife.
Yeah, so my word is wife, right? Okay.
Yes, wife.
The better half that lives with you throughout, once you are engaged with, and you have no other choice but to continue till your last breath, and it gives you both sides of life, happiness as well as sadness, as well as it adds flavor to your life. That is what I would like to say about my wife.
That's amazing. That's amazing. You can pick somebody else and give them a word.
Sure. Maybe Suresh Babu sir, and the word I would like to give him is mobile.
Mobile. Okay. It's a beautiful device, technologically very advanced, which we can use to call our friends, which we can use to call our customers. And of course, there are many operators which we can depend on to get their services, to use this. And nowadays, a lot of things we can do with that, not just calling. We can play games, we can make video calls, and whatnot. We can have the conferences in which many people can join and convey their ideas and messages. All those things can be done with this message.
Thank you. That was amazing. You can nominate somebody else and give them a word.
Yeah. I'll nominate Kishore sir. And this is bottle.
Bottle. Okay, sir. This is something, it carries water. Wherever we go from our childhood, it carries along with us. It clears our thirsty. It carries some water, not only water, it carries milk and any liquid, we can take it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. I'm nominating Anirban. Anirban, sir.
Yeah, I'm there.
Money.
A man-made object which helps us to complete our needs with respect to food, shelter, clothes, travel, wanderlust, everything. But it is a man-made piece of object behind which the whole of humanity is running. And there is no end to it, but still everybody is running after that, like Usain Bolt. So I think that is we all have made it one of the most important pieces of objects which has been ever made. But ideally, it should not be like that. And but yes, that's the truth. And all those who love Gandhiji will be able to relate to that. So yeah, we all love that object, I'm quite sure, and we want our pockets to be full of that. So, yeah.
Thank you so much. Now I'll actually add a tip here. See, when I say a word, right, let us just assume that you're going to use this word when you're going to make a speech. For example, I am going to say a sentence, but I do not want to use the word money. I'm just going to say some piece of paper. As simple as that, because the words are to be dealt very smartly, because you can't overdo it. Then what will happen is we'll go out of the context. So when we say something, let's just keep it like you're going to write something, you're going to swap that word. I'm not saying use a synonym. I'm not saying use money instead of currency. I'm not saying use money instead of wealth. That's not what I mean. But I want you to be expressive of that word in a different genre. Yes? You get it? So I'll just myself pick up so that we can quickly go to the next points, because the presentation as such is pretty interesting. And let me pick up Parul Makwana. I'm going to say the word is water. You're on mute.
Can you hear?
Yes.
Okay. It's something which is needed for the survival of every living beings, starting from every different kingdom, fungus, plants, animals, without which trees cannot grow, without which we cannot start our day, without which the body system cannot function properly. That's it.
Thank you. We'll also keep it short, because imagine you substituting water in a speech for this long. You yourself might get bored, right? So we're just going to swap this very quick in a way that I'm just trying this. The whole intention of this activity is to be smarter. So I'm just going to pick Toastmaster Swarna, and it is going to be fire.
Oh, I burnt my hand.
Perfect. Yeah, that'll be great. And can I get Abhijit? Are you there?
Yes. Yes,
Great.
yes.
The word for you is moonlight.
Moonlight. Yeah, moonlight is very beautiful. I think when the full moon is glowing in the sun, it is delighted to see. Everybody is excited when they see moonlight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And can I pick Shraddha Dubey?
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. The word for you is flowers.
Flowers.
Yes.
Okay.
Say flowers without saying flowers.
Gift from God, which spreads aroma in your life.
Perfect. That was amazing. Thank you. Have I missed out anybody? Yeah, Atosh. Yes. So the word for you is the most powerful word in the world, love.
It's a feeling which makes you alive. It's a feeling which gives your heart beating. Love.
Wow, that was poetic. That's amazing. And Jyoti ma'am, yeah, a word for you that is everybody desires for it, happiness. You're on mute.
A feeling, a state of mind which makes you jump with joy.
Wow, perfect. That was precise and to the point. Bullseye. And have you got anybody left? Okay, or we can go ahead. Toastmaster Surya, can you please, yeah, the slides, please. I think we missed out Vivek. Hi, we missed out you. We missed out on you.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay. I am going to give you a word. Gold.
An yellow piece of metal that my wife likes to have it in a cupboard, a locker basically, and
great.
Something that shines on her.
Amazing, amazing. That's amazing. Thank you. So we'll just now get on to the PPT, and I'm going to pan you through the other interesting things that the words can do to you. Now that you know that the words can be expressed in different ways, right? So we'll go ahead and tell how the words can also make you or break you. The next thing, no, it's the same slide, Surya. I was just in the second point. No, yeah, perfect. So the third point is be appropriate as accordingly. So what I mean by as accordingly is, let's go into the sub points. It says, while speaking, you see the audience. Right now, I was able to call out names, right? I was able to call you guys. I'm able to see you guys and call. So what I will do is I will empathize with all of you. So when I'm going to tell you something like, imagine we are all stranded in an ocean. So I'm going to put myself in your shoes and be like, hey, all of us are on the same page. In that way, what happens is I'm not ahead of you, you're not behind of me. We are all on the same levels of understanding, because when I'm going to say something, you're going to understand exactly what I mean. So when you speak, use the words that will make sure that your audience are on line with. And when you write, visualize to whom you're writing. For example, if I'm writing a poem, okay, poem for my mom on the Mother's Day, right? The most powerful thing is for you to step into the shoes of your mom and think like her when she reads it, right? So you are a loving son or a daughter. You're going to write something loving for your mom or dad. Won't you really love the way they would feel when they're going to read this? So just as simple as that, step into the audience shoes and then make sure that whatever you're going to utter, whatever word that you're going to pick up is going to impress them and take them by the heart. So that's what you're going to do for speaking. You empathize with them, make sure that you and the audience are on the same levels. When you're going to write something for anybody, make sure that the person who's ever going to read is going to feel super special, like say the love letter, yeah, to your husband or girlfriend or anybody. So make sure that we all do that unintentionally, but I'm saying that it has to be conscious and intentional so that the impact that we're going to create with these words is going to be more powerful. As simple as that. The fourth one is, it's definitely okay to be a little repetitive, because when I talk, I sometimes put my thoughts and then I'm going to just directly talk out, right? So in that case, what happens is we unconsciously repeat the same sentences sometimes, right? We all have been there. Say you basically are advising to your kid or your brother. So you will say something in the first line, and then the third line or after some time, you will say the same point again, because you would have forgotten that you said the same thing. You will tell it in a different way. We've all been there, right? It is not wrong. They say that it's absolutely fine that you're going to make the choice of words a little repetitive because you think that is important, right? So as simple as that, let us assume that we are all sitting in a classroom and the teacher is teaching an important lesson. Definitely the teacher is going to teach us and then do some sums, and then again she's going to revise it for us. She definitely knows that she has taught us something. She's revising it because she's repeating the choice of words, because she knows that it is important for all of us to understand and learn. So the choice of words while speaking, it's okay to be repetitive. For example, you can use quotes. Let us assume that we are all going for a battle. we have a leader. That leader really wants to get all that motivation into our veins and blood. And he says quotes that will really hold our spirits high, right? So it's okay if he says 2-3 more times because we get more spirits high. That's how it is. And the fifth one is be very colorful, vivid, as the words is an expression of expression, like Inception, right? So because when you're going to say, the car, so when I'm going to say a blue color, polished, brand new, and all that, it's something that I'm trying to express the word onward. So be very dramatic when you're going to talk. Let's assume that you're going to propose a girl, right? You're just not going to directly go and say, hey, I love you, right? That is not very appealing. Or a guy is definitely not going to do that, because he is definitely going to make that proposal a little phenomenal and memorable. Obviously, when you're doing something for the first time, you have to make sure that the memory lasts for long. So be very vibrant, be very expressive. Depends on the occasion. For example, if you're going to read a toast on your best friend's wedding, do you want to just say, hey, best friend, happy married life? Do you really think that is the choice of words you can do? No, right? So we will want to just dramatize it and make sure that guy is embarrassed or that girl is just feeling, why is this guy my best friend? So you use words that are going to really spread that positive vibes and be very vivid and colorful. So this is the 5 points that you keep in mind while you choose the words. The next thing is not to-do list, not so much to-do list. And words are very, very misleading. We all know that we have to be careful while we choose the words. We've all heard people saying that mind your tongue, right? So that's because the choice of words is something that we have to really mind on. When it's the tongue, they mean it's the words. The second point is, so these are actually the points that I'm going to cover, which is going to be from the perspective of making a speech as such, making a speech. For example, you cannot really generalize everything when you're talking. For example, you can just say, all the time, I am just lazy. So which means that you are going to basically generalize yourself in a very false way. One person cannot be lazy all the time, right? And we all know that all men are the same. Just let us assume that somebody is making a statement saying all men are the same. This is called false generalization. This is a not to do in a speech. Very clearly, this choice of words, which will create false generalization, is a not to do. Why not to do is because it will impact the quality of your speech. The audience might not be able to really be feeling that you're a great speaker. Similarly, any statement is pretty dangerous. For example, like Surya is lazy. It is something like, and it's just to be very, for an example, that is, the statement cannot be generic and it cannot be always to the point. So you have to keep it a little flexible, the choice of words. And the fourth one is you have to be really careful with jargons. So we all know what jargons are, right? So when I said we all know, I said we all know jargons. Apparently it looks like one speaker should not be using we all know also. That is my fifth point. I'll come back to that later. So jargons are some words which are out of place. For example, when there is a doctor here in the house, a doctor delivering a presentation in a forum that is attended by only doctors is completely going to be different, right? They will talk something technical, and if the doctor is going to deliver something similar of a speech in a public forum like here and uses words that we cannot understand, that is called jargons. We cannot use jargons in every place. For example, if all of us have something in common, I can talk about, for example, now here we are talking about communication and leadership, right? We can talk about vocal variety, body language, and how to organize a speech, choice of words. This is something that we all will be able to understand. So I am familiar with that. So you cannot use jargons basically. And vulgarity and slang. So basic etiquettes of picking your words, you will have to make sure that you cannot be using your slang, because every culture, every language has got different slangs. So if you're going to have your audience heterogeneously mixed, you cannot use slangs, right? As simple as that. And strong biased statements is a spoiler. When I meant we all know, or we say that everybody knows. So things like these is something that ends your speech. It smoothers the content. So see, the things that are the points that I've given out is not from my heart or not from my experience. These are extracted and modified from materials which says this is how words are to be used. Yeah. So let's go to the next slide, please. So quick tips. I'm going to wrap up. So it's going to be like I said, live your words. Make sure that it is very dramatic, and it is going to be simple that when you are going to deliver something, make sure the audience are going to mentally visualize. Did you all already visualize the blue color, bright, polished, brand new car? Did you guys visualize it? Yeah, did it run in your mind? That is because I kept impacting that particular phrase repetitively so that the car runs not just on the roads but also in your minds. So make sure that when you are going to create an impact, pick your choice of words, make it very colorful, make sure that the mental image is going to run in the audience's mind. Can we all relate this to the movie's climax when we all have tears coming in? Because they have speech, they have the scenes also accordingly. So when we see a movie and understand the dialogues, we automatically connect to it. They actually are inducing that mental images visually, like in real. But when you as a speaker, you cannot just really drive a bright blue color car, right? So you only thing is you can express it, but make sure that visualizing is there to the audience. The second is you can really play with the minds of your target audience. Like, the words that I just made an activity with. So I took you through something, what I was trying to explain you. So you can do this small activities that will enlighten the audience's attention. And the third one is the best thing ever. I tell it to all my, mentees and new members that when you're going to make a speech, if you are going to add a little bit of your personal stories and examples, you really have decorated that speech. I would love to listen what Sijo Joy has actually enjoyed the recent travel that he went to. I would love that if he's going to tell. But I don't want to really know where Virat Kohli and Anushka all went. I'm not really bothered. So it's as simple as when you touch people's lives, it has to be from your personal stories. So use your choice of words, mix your personal stories and examples. And I would love to know the journey of Yogeshwari when she became a professor, the difficulties, the hardships that she has faced. She will be actually the first-hand information and she will be the rightful person to tell about her life struggles and successes. So in that way, it makes it more authentic and unique. And the fourth one is express feelings, touch the hearts. Just like I said, be a movie star when you're actually speaking. And make sure that whenever you talk, you reach the heart of the audience. Do something, sing a song, play a instrument, and crack jokes, say something very emotional, but make sure that you find your way into the hearts of the audience through your choice of words. The most important thing, because when you do that, you really will be remembered. All of us want to be remembered, right? So that way. And the fifth one is the literary devices. See, this one I really learned it when I was in my 8th standard, 9th standard, when I was studying. So there was this English teacher who would actually come up and say, there are so many literary devices. We have to use literary devices to make the impact of the words. We have to magnify it. We have to leverage it. So I didn't know what that was. So as simple as I can actually cover an entire separate session on literary devices, because that's a huge concept. Looks like there are about 45 plus literary devices. As simple as what is literary devices is, I'll just tell you a few, for example. So there's something called alliteration. So alliteration is one of the easiest to go device to use. So all these literary devices, because it can play with the words and it can kind of induce leverage the power the words have. It's like if the word is just one, it'll just show like the word is three. That is the power of these literary devices. I'll just tell you a 4-5, for example. Alliteration is one literary device. Personification is another literary device. Simile is another one. And we all know metaphor is another one. And there's something called oxymoron. That is another one. So when all of these literary devices are different. For example, oxymoron means in a same sentence, keep two extremes. For example, I lived in an extreme hot sun, and yeah, oh my God, that is not a very great example. A happy marriage still is a nice combo. So an extreme hot winter, it doesn't make sense, right? Extreme hot winter. This is called the oxymoron. So when you say something, you intend to project to the audience two extreme things that just cannot be combined. So that's how it is. I just told you oxymoron for example. And there are a lot of things like alliterations and personifications is as simple as you look like a freshly plucked cherries. So something like you are going to really butter somebody, then you can personify them with whatever you want to. And if you want to do not butter them and you want to burn them, then you can say that you're just as hot as a fire or something like that. You can use these literary devices in any way. Like we all know that they say that it is raining dogs and cats, right? So this is one of the literary device that we have. So simile is as simple as sun today is like a scoop of ice cream. So a scoop of ice cream is related to the sun. So that's how it is. So we can make use of literary devices and play with the words further. And we can also use literary devices in a different way. Like a lot of poems are written by the literary devices. So on the whole, my next slide is just like something that one heart and 1 million ways, you've all made me feel special. Basically, I just want to say thank you, because this is the words that I'm trying to use to tell you how special I felt when I was given an opportunity right now today to make this presentation on choice of words is very important. Thank you so much. And we can just have the session maybe for 5 minutes for question and answers if you have any.
Amazing. Let's give it up for Hemanth sir, everyone. This is just great. I mean, what a scintillating session. So just to make sure that the question answer session happens pretty quick, what I would encourage you all to do, drop the questions in the chat so that Hemanth sir can just answer them back. So perfect. That would be, I think, a lot.
This is pretty generic, so we can more discuss. It's not like any question and answers because words. So there's nothing we do not know about it.
So as our participants have started typing in the questions, I have one very interesting question, sir.
Yes.
Based on our speeches, whether it's a humorous speech and all, how do we really decide? I mean, if I just have to say happy, I may come up with elated, which is a superseded form of happiness, or just happy. So how do I understand the intensity of which word I need to use, and how do I gain more words in my vocabulary?
Are you talking with respect to speaking or writing? Because we have to pick for the occasion, right?
Speaking itself, yes.
So speaking, the words is complementary to your expressions on the stage. So if you're going to be excited and be jumping, the happy is going to be seen as a real happy thing. But if you're going to really say, I was just happy with like a, muffed up body language, then the audience are going to obviously know that this is not the highest levels of expression. The choice of words when it comes to being on the stage and talking is so complementary with your body language. Although you can also do some prefix and suffix to the words. I was extremely happy. That can be as simple as explaining how happy you were. I was okayish happy. That is another way of reducing that intensity of happiness. Yes.
So Hemanth sir, you got a question. I did not understand why we should not use we all know or everybody know.
As simple as people in the audience might really, not everybody might know. So for example, I'm going to talk about, say, Chennai floods 2015. So if I'm going to directly start with, you know, all what happened in the floods in Chennai 2015, half the audience will be like, what happened? So you cannot really say, you cannot false generalize and assume that the audience knows everything, right? As long as you really said something in the speech, then you can say, I just said this in the speech. Now that you all know, that makes sense. You cannot start something with we all know. Yeah, thank you.
Amazing. So I think that's all the questions that we've had so far. But thank you so much, Hemanth sir. I just have to invite someone. Where is she? Where is she? She's not here. Where is Yogeshwari? Come on.
I'm there. Yes, I'm there.
Where is your video? Come on. We can't
I'm
see
just.
you. Yeah.
Okay, Jyoti. I think we missed Jyoti for the word. Did we?
No, sir. We included her.
Okay,
also,
great.
I guess. Yeah.
Thank you.
So
yeah,
I think Yogeshwari, you can. I would like to actually invite two. I would also like to invite Gayatri ma'am and Yogeshwari, both of you, to just share about, first of all, share how you felt about the session and all, and also
I would really love to take feedback. Because I'll tell you in a very simple way, this Toastmasters educational sessions, I've given so many educational sessions, but frankly, in Toastmasters, the educational sessions are covered by an manual. But this particular educational session, whichever I gave, I picked it from different sources. So the presentation, what was showed was something that I typed it. Normally in Toastmasters, the educational sessions are different. You will have a manual followed by a presentation. So what happens is the educational speaker will go through the manual, understand what the manual says, and then the manual will have complementing presentation. So what you have to do is just add your own way of communicating it, add your stories and examples, and then open the presentation, and then just go ahead and present it. But today's presentation was different because I picked up different sources of information, and I tried to make it like a chain link so it falls in the structure of presentation. I would really love if I really get a feedback so that I can work on myself in the coming speeches. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, yeah, sure. So Gayatri ma'am, are you here as well? We would love to include you in the panel as well. I think that would be.
Yes, I am very much here. Please excuse me. I would not be able to switch the video on. I am not at home. I'm outside.
Okay.
But I'm very happy to. Well, I was very happy to hear the session. I would say I participated because I did add a few words here and there. The best part about the educational session was, I think, the personal touch and the interactiveness that I saw. DTM Hemanth is absolutely right. Normally we have a manual and there are a lot of things involved. And BPT is something which is already shared by Toastmasters International. All we have to do is beg, borrow, copy, paste, and get the work done. The PPT is done, and that's how we explain. But it takes a lot of effort. And the effort is visible, and the effort to make it easy to get the audience to interact, that is also clear. I thoroughly enjoyed the session. And DTM Hemanth, congratulations on becoming a distinguished Toastmaster. It's a dream for a lot of people, and the moderator in this event is also one of those who's eagerly looking forward to getting that the title. It is, this is for our speech crafters. Distinguished Toastmasters have a goal. There's a goal. It's not just continuation. You have paths. 2 years ago, we had something, we had a different kind of learning experience altogether. I am a DTM from the traditional part. So I gave 40 speeches plus so many different special speeches and leadership roles. So we came to the end of the journey. That's distinguished Toastmaster. But one of our speakers has already said, happiness is the journey. It's not the destination. In the same way, DTM is not, it's actually not destination. It's a journey. And I'm glad that DTM Hemanth presented that journey in such a beautiful way. Choice of words, absolutely, it makes a big difference. It's not just how you say it, it's what you say also makes a big difference. And today's interactive session, you involved all of us. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And I think our speech crafters have learned a lot.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Let's give it up for DTM Gayatri ma'am, everyone. This is great. I mean, always such a pleasure. Right. Now, I would like to invite Yogeshwari to please felicitate our dynamic and dashing Hemanth sir.
Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. And Gayatri ma'am, DTM Gayatri ma'am have covered up everything regarding the session. So I really don't have much points to come up with the session because she has covered up everything. But here I wanted to add a personal touch because he is DTM Hemanth is my first mentor, first ever mentor in Toastmasters. First, I mean, something which is first is always special, right? So he is like that for me. He is my first ever mentor. And the only reason I joined Toastmaster is DTM Hemanth. Why am I telling is because last year, exactly the same time, I was searching in Google for the Toastmasters platform near my residence. And then that time everything was under lockdown. The only club that was operating was Speak Magic Toastmasters Club. And they picked the call. The next time they told me that someone who is our president will be calling you. I thought, okay, someone who is president and he'll be having all the whatever that we expect will be calling you. And he called me up. He was very, very sweet, very friendly, very approachable. I still remember the 30 minutes that he spoke to me covered up everything in Toastmasters. He was so convincing. Today he just gave an educational session on choice of words, which is absolutely made for him, because that day he convinced me so much that I have no other choice but to join Toastmasters. And that too, I have no other choice but to join Speak Magic, because I had a thought that, okay, lockdown will get over soon and I'll be attending the physical meetings. So I have to search somewhere near my residence, convenient for the transportation. But he made sure that I am joining only in Toastmasters. So he's so good at persuading people in a positive note. He's so good at influencing people. And one more thing that, I mean, I have loads and loads of stories to tell about him. The first speech that I drafted and I sent it to him, it's like he gave me a feedback that I felt like, throwing on my face, but he wouldn't have meant that, but still I felt it. And that changed my entire perspective about how to look at the speeches. I was a very pessimistic person. I was very negative. My speech also reflected the same. And he gave one suggestion on it: to take everything lighter, make people's heart lighter. And that's what is helping me to stand until now, I can say. Because that time I realized the importance of mentorship, and I owe to him. And the second thing that I would like to tell about him is he is the only reason that I am in XCOM right now. Because I told him straight up that when he approached me for the VPM, I told him straight up that I'm not for this. I hate sales. I hate, convincing people for this, that, and all. But again, he's the amount of time that he spent on convincing me. The last word that I told him is, you are so convincing. I'm going to take it up, and I know that you will have my back. So these are the moments that I shared with him, and I really cherish these moments. To have a mentor like this is a blessing, and it's my opportunity and privilege to felicitate him and to honor him with the certificate, with the token of love. So DTM Hemanth Krishna, kindly accept this from our end, and thank you so much for your time and your presentations. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I think my choice of words have been working and impactful and influencing. Thank you so much.
This is great, amazing. So now that Hemanth sir and Yogeshwari both are here, I would request both of you to kindly felicitate our award winners for this particular session. So definitely, I'll be sharing the screen. Yogeshwari is gone, is it? She's still there. Great. Okay. So.
Wow, the best table topic speaker goes to Nidhi Nandagopal. Congratulations. Happy evening.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. the best speaker is going to be introduced by Yogeshwari.
Yeah, thank you so much. So the best speaker we have is Kavya ma'am. Kavya ma'am, congratulations, and you deserve it for your well-delivered speech. So Hemanth sir, take up the honors.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
The best evaluator of tonight is Toastmaster. Oh, is that a guest? Guest, right?
No. He is a speech
Okay.
crafter. Yeah.
Goes to Suresh Babu. Wow. So basically, Toastmasters evaluation is the backbone of the meeting. That's what they say. They say that every other time. And congratulations on winning today.
Okay, brilliant. Let's give it up for both Hemanth sir and Yogeshwari, everyone. Thank you so much. We will have a very, very quick business meeting before we close. So anybody has any kind of doubts, please feel free to ask. I think everybody has completed their, okay, team B is left with their last speech. They will be presenting. Okay, 1 second. I have to spotlight myself. Yes, okay, now it's perfect. So anybody has any kind of questions regarding anything? What you can do is you can please, yeah, yes, ma'am.
I need to ask one question. When we are giving a speech, is it that what we need to speak what we need to speak, or is it according to please the audience that we need to speak? You know, sometimes on taking a lighter note or a serious note. You know, suppose we are giving a speech, which is a really serious one. Is it necessary that we need to always be like jovial or make a lighter speech? No, I want clarification for that. Because certain issues are there which are really serious, and suppose we need to give that kind of speech.
So the best way to deal with this is to go through the simple 4 points. Every single time you're preparing a speech, go through these 4 checkpoints. I like to call them as the checkpoints. Number 1, who is your target audience? That's the first. What is the age group? What are the kind of people you're speaking to? Number 2, what is your time limit of the speech? Time limit of your speech. Number 3, what is the one-line message that you want to deliver through that speech? Number 4, what is the call to action or the takeaway? So that would be, I think, the best way to really frame the premise to your speech. So I hope that answers your question. Do we have any more questions?
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So the couple of questions were regarding the questions that has been asked. What we will do is we'll answer them in the WhatsApp group itself. Okay. So right now we have finished our 3rd week together in the speech craft program. So amazing, huge kind of. This is great. I mean, we all have completed 3 weeks together. We got 1 more week to go, which means the Monday will be for Team B to present their get to the point speech. And we also have our final educational session. So it's just going to be absolutely great. So finally, on Wednesday, you all will be graduating as speech crafters. And I'm sure we got a lot of surprises up our sleeves for all of you. Now, the whole idea here for all of us to understand is that every single speech that we have given, it is mandatory for us to get our evaluation report from our evaluators so that we keep a track of the speeches that we've got. So as and when you have presented the speeches, please make sure that you've got your evaluations coming. So I got a couple of questions. So I'm going to quickly just answer that. Mukta ma'am asked, how will you correlate literally a device with speaking so people can understand? That comes with practice. The more you practice, the more better you get at it. So that's how it has worked for me, I'm sure. And at the same time, observation is a very critical one. So the more you observe, then you're using those literary devices into your impromptu speeches. It comes with practice. You may also have a notebook. So now Shraddha ma'am says, okay, wait, Rajeshwari ma'am, so how to use figures of speech? Okay, yeah, so that was a feedback. Okay, so I'm in the habit of overshooting my time limit. So the best way to do is overshooting your time. The best way to deal with it is make sure that you count your words per minute. Words per minute, super important. Count your speaking speed and then type your speech according to your speed. This is again an advice that I've got from DTM Hemanth himself. When I was presenting my pathway reflection speech, he forced me literally, and I took that suggestion. I wrote down the entire thing, somewhere around 1400 words, because he noticed that my speed was fast. So that helps a lot. I hope that answers your question. Right. So how many stories should we compile in one speech? Ideally, 3. There's a golden rule of 3. So you need to have the container theory again. 3 containers. You fill those 3 containers. So you can have a quote, story, or quote, fact, story, based on what your speech is all about. But it should not be more than 3. It again depends on your duration of your speech. If it's a 10 to 15 minute speech, you may have to include 5 stories. Accordingly, you can focus on. So I think that should be that covers up all our questions. So once again, in order to adjourn the meeting,
can I get just a minute so that I can just wrap this with a sentence? So I'm just going to read something which is very beautiful, very apt for the evening. A symphony played by an orchestra has a richer sound than the same melody played by a single instrument. I'm going to repeat it. A symphony played by an orchestra has richer sound than the same melody played by a single instrument. What I mean is, a speech full of colorful examples and metaphors will have a richer impression in the listener's mind than the same idea just delivered in a simple way. Yeah, so that is the choice and the power of words. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Hemanth sir. Okay, now Gayatri ma'am has raised her hand and she's going to speak, and we will also request Gayatri ma'am to adjourn our meeting as well. So Gayatri ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, Surya. Here, I would like to answer Shraddha. She said how many stories, and while you said 3, I would agree with 3 or 5, but in my opinion, two stories given with punch words, empowered words, assertive words. And here the word choice makes a big difference. 2 stories with absolutely power-packed words make the biggest difference. Because if you have 3 or 4 or 5 different stories, somewhere down the line, the audience sort of loses track. They get distracted by this story, the other story, unless every story has the same moral, the same sequence, the same element. So in that, 2 stories I would suggest. It's not an advice. I would suggest, because each speaker thinks differently. And while all of us are giving you the speech crafters, we are evaluating your speeches and giving feedback. Here, I would like to also point out something, to be taken with a pinch of salt. Every evaluation is subjective to the evaluator's frame of mind, how that person has taken the words, the speech, the thought. And one thing that we need to avoid as evaluators, we should put ourselves in that speaker's position and see what the person is trying to say, not be that person and try to make the speech better. That's not our job. This is the input I would like to give here, because a speaker has a different frame of mind when he or she is speaking. Everyone that spoke today, they did not speak the same way. Everyone spoke in their own style. And that style has to be respected, and that style has to be acknowledged. Once we learn to do that, our evaluation really gets elevated, because it does not become subjective, it's objective. Subjective is when I feel, in my opinion, if you should have done this, you should have done that. No, the speaker did not feel it. So in that, the speaker is the hero. We are not the hero who are evaluating. That is what I wanted to say. I hope it makes sense, because evaluation is an art. It's a science. It's a skill. And champion evaluators are a different breed. But all champion speakers need not necessarily be great champion evaluators. So they're 2 different breeds altogether, 2 different skills. Listening is crucial. Trying to understand what the other person is saying is crucial. And then giving feedback as to what that person has done in that speech alone. That is what our job as an evaluator is. So 2 things from my side. First is keep stories to 2. If there are more, let there be a common theme running. Otherwise, you lose track of the audience. And then, especially when we think that the audience is going to clap, and somewhere they say, "But you said that story, and this story somewhere there was a disconnect." All that we can avoid. So keeping our stories to 2 is a good idea, in my opinion. You can have as many stories as you want. If the time limit is 10 to 15 minutes, as Surya has suggested, go right ahead and have as many stories, but let there be an underlying theme so that there is a common factor. People should always come back to that story. This is for Shraddha. And overall, generally for evaluation, I would like to, I hope I gave that little bit of suggestion. That was from my side. I have, I'm a champion. That is, I was a champion evaluator when I was in Kuwait. So I like to think that I have contributed at least one small bit to anyone who is learning to evaluate. Today's evaluations were on par. Every evaluation can always be better, and let's make it better every time. At the end, let's always have an empowered evaluation so that whoever is giving it learns, whoever is listening also learns. I hope I conveyed that message to you, and I hope I made myself clear. I love to speak. I'm a teacher. So speaking is something that comes second nature. This was something I wanted to talk about. And I've got this good platform. Just a minute of your time. The thing as a teacher, I have learned in Toastmasters, all of you speech crafters. I was invited by one of my friends in Kuwait to attend as a guest, and I did. As a teacher, I was asked to come up there and share my words. And I took up the table topic segment and I spoke very well and I won. But when I became a Toastmaster and I started to speak, for your information, in the Toastmasters pattern of speaking, it's 4 to 6 minutes. And my icebreaker speech, ladies and gentlemen, was 9.5 minutes. I didn't know when to stop. I think probably that's one of the things right now I'm going on so that you understand how to stop, because Shraddha said over time. I have shot my speeches over 2.5 minutes at a time. It's a learning experience. Today, I can say this to everyone. Time is of the essence. Keep your words crisp, short, concise. And you're halfway there. Give a positive feedback. Have a good personal story that people can connect with. And you're 90% there. Use your body language, your words, and all the literary devices that we learned today. And you're 100% there. You're done. That makes us all a great speaker. Today, with your permission, if there is nothing else that we need to discuss, do I have our moderator's permission to bring the meeting to a close?
Yes, ma'am, please do.
Our educational session, DTM Hemanth.
Yes.
Do I have your permission as well?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Speech crafters, do I have your permission as well? See, finally, thank God, ma'am, let us go. We're hungry. Absolutely. Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, speech crafters, DTM Hemanth, all Toastmasters and guests, I bring this meeting, session number 6 of Speech Crafters, Speak Your Soul, to a close today. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Right.